It's November the 11th and we had our first freeze last night. So let's take a look through this November South Carolina garden and see what we got going on. Heading into the kitchen garden, looks like our Mexican petunias didn't take too hard of a hit. The low is 26 degrees. Our Easter roses, looks like it bit those blooms, but greenery is just fine. The morning glories were already dead. That is not from freeze, that's our lovely groundhogs. Things dying back a little bit. Here is some lamb's ear dying back. Poor cannas. I guess these leaves are so pulpy. We reached a low of 26, but altogether it was below freezing for about 12 hours. So it looks like the pulpier leaves here have totally bit the dust. Sedum, autumn joy sedum, still doing beautifully. And the lamb's ear over here, not nearly as bad. Maybe it just got more sun earlier today. Mexican sunflowers, like they said, no thank you to the freeze. So here they're about gone. Pineapple sage, the leaves, it actually still looks good. Leaves and blooms look great on the pineapple sage. I did come out and harvest all the peppers that I could. I'll take a look at those on the porch. Ginger, looking sad, but hey, I'm impressed still. Given that it did have such a freeze. And turmeric is even more depressed. But I understand that it can stay in the ground year-round here. I might test some of it, but I've not dug any up yet. We'll see. The basils have been gone. That's just by our natural, were time to go to seed. And it looks like I do have, oh, this is not basil though, a little green left here, which is from peppers. And I did leave on some green peppers. Our 2-week forecast, just by nature of being South Carolina, here, let me show you these first and keep moving. Chamomile doesn't look too awfully impacted, neither does sage. Sage, if I remember correctly, is evergreen here. Fennel looks fine. Some borage looks fine. Even our stevia looks good. Tarragon laying over a little, but still living for sure. Even feverfew is still green. Looks like this basil is not happy, and neither is the black-eyed Susan vine, so that's good to know. It does not take a freeze well at all. A little bit of toothache plant there covered up. Parsley is fine. Parsley. Oregano is fine. Eggplants, nope. They have bit the dust. And this larger grouping here of toothache plant is pretty hard hit as well. Lamb's ear over here looks fine. The blue mist flower has now fallen over almost completely. This is still standing up, and I guess the bigger it was. Hey, French fry. It's our weekly, not weekly, but our regular. Here you go. Here he's come. Where are you, buddy? I hear ya. There you are. Hello, French fry. Let me get you back in there. Hey, darling. That's my daughter Scope coming to say good morning. Did you like the cool weather? I see you're good on water and hay over there. All right, rosemary, of course, looks fine. The nice and oily, still nice, strong smell. The lavender here has been killed or just highly damaged, but mostly by the blue mist flower covering it up. Look, we have some ice here on our rainwater bucket. That's a surprise. Ooh, thick enough to pick up. Wow, okay. And the lavenders here look fine, but everything on the bean tunnel looks pretty pitiful. Got some tomatoes that I see that I missed here and there, some little tomatoes. I'll still be able to pick those probably. I'll take a look and see. Get over there. Carrots, of course, are perfectly fine. Marigolds, surprisingly, look well to be frozen that long, but beans, no. And this says for sure, black-eyed Susan vine. It said no thank you. Have some mints and pots here. They will die back completely for the winter, but let's step over here. Let's just test a tomato or two and see, are they squishy? Get it back into focus. So, not too bad. They don't feel squishy. They taste fine. Okay. Ooh, Malabar spinach did not like one freeze. So good to know. Learning all the time. Of course, all the irises along the edge and the irises along the edge are fine. Daylilies are fine. The onion bed here is rocking it, looking good. The things that I see dead or sad in the bed are, I believe this was a basil, if I'm not mistaken. Hard to recognize now. And this was an eggplant. So eggplant, basil. Unhappy. Amaranth doesn't look bad for an evening freeze. And of course all the greenery on the tomatoes is gone. These are of course a little squishier than they probably were yesterday, but not bad. Okay. Taking a look here at the gate. Again, let me think, pink sorrel on the front looks fine. Lamb's ear looks okay here, but bad in other areas. The striped liriope or monkey grass looks fine. Irises look fine. Even the lemongrass surprisingly looks very, very good for it to have gotten that much of a freeze. And lemon balm haven back here looks fine. Here's our crybaby. Hey Kathy, if you hear somebody crying in the background, it's him. The lily I had here to move, it did not like that one freeze. That's a good reminder. The mint here, strawberry mint in the pot looks fine. Orange mint over here in the pot is actually coming back out, and I had killed it previously from lack of water. It has nothing to do with the freeze. And again, the black-eyed Susan vine that was doing a ground cover here and over the top of the 4 o'clocks, that is all gone to glory. All right, on the south face of the house at the front porch, these elephant ears said good night. And I thought that was kind of comical, that I grabbed my little snowman blow mold there and put him out for our very first freeze. I think I might have to start that tradition. Blueberries here looking fabulous. Oh wait, here, I've got a little pomegranate tree that was often overlooked in my garden tours right here because it was covered over mostly by the elephant ears. First year for that, a gentleman gave it to me, so I'm gonna see how that goes. But blueberries look great. 1, 2, 3 blueberries right here. They've been here at least 2, maybe 3 years, and so they're doing very well. Okay, other stuff, strawberry ground cover, fine. Irises, fine. Even this big daylily is fine. The grasses here I mentioned before, I'm probably going to be moving them, but I kept them because I really did not plant them on purpose, but I wanted to know what their behavior and what they would look like, so I'm learning from that. Looks like the purple heart died back more than I thought it would for just one freeze. Interesting. And then my 4 coffee plants, Camellia sinensis. This one's got a little, I don't know what that is, something wrong with it right there. Powdery mildew it looks like, but it's crispy. This one looks a little better. It doesn't appear to have any disease on it. That's 2. Here's number 3. And here is number 4. Okay, so I've got 4 coffee plants. Just got those this year at Table Rock Tea Company, and I'm liking that. On the porch, potted plants, of course, they look the same as they did before, so they are not affected by the freeze last night at all. My elephant ears back here, I've told you, have spider mites. That's a disease issue I'm trying to treat. It's nothing to do with the weather. Okay, same thing here, purple heart laying down a bit. Look at this Spanish lavender. It was not affected at all. I'm gonna want some more of this or propagate it myself or something. I bought, I think, 4 at the flea market, little tiny. I mean, they were just 2 or 3 inches tall, and they have 2 of them have done well here. potato plants and beans. They're laying down a bit. I need to dig those up. This is a citramelo, which is a citrus that is supposed to live here and survive in South Carolina. So I am very hopeful. So I've seen some people on my gardening groups on Facebook. They have some beautiful large trees that just make the most glorious fruit that they were still getting up to yesterday. So big harvest right now on that. I have one more blueberry. This one seems more weather-like. I mean, its leaves have changed to a red color. I'm surprised by that, as I haven't had that experience with the others. And look at Miss Loofah. She is practically gone. I did not get out here to harvest all the fruits yet because I figure they'll be okay. We're not planning to eat them. We're planning to peel them. That's a basketball, not a melon. And Crybaby has followed me over to this side of the fence. I see you, Cappy. See him right under there. Stop it. The loofah had previously covered up my raspberries, which was sad, but I see some raspberries hanging in there. We're going to do a better job next year. Looks like it is time to be pulling loofahs and go from there. Grapes were already dying back. Now they're completely gone. And I picked a large container of all these little cherry tomatoes yesterday. Got as many as I could, filled up my basket, and now it looks like their greens have gone on to glory. Still have quite a few tomatoes out here, and I'll just have to wait a couple of days because it started to tell you earlier, the South Carolina weather is, here's our first frost. I did harvest all the red tomatoes. I'll get a closer look as we walk over there. All the larger red tomatoes, but I left some beautiful green ones on the vine. In the past, I have harvested the green ones as well, put them in a box to continue to turn red, and I just did not have the energy for that, so I just harvested all red yesterday. I'm gonna get everything on the south face before I head around to the back. Our mailbox here is at the highway. These are all cannas, which again, those pulpy leaves are gone. That froze. All the little things you see sticking up here are kind of a wild poinsettia. Let's see if I can find one that's got some red on it. Maybe here, this one's got some red on it. See, it's like a wild poinsettia. Didn't realize there were that many in here, but I'm glad to see them as all the cannas dry back completely for the winter. The wild poinsettias don't seem to have enjoyed the frost, but they're not down like the cannas are. Still planning to move some other stuff up here, and I'll be looking this year to try to develop a prettier winter garden. Next to the driveway here, we had transplanted some of the pink sorrel. It is beautiful here most of the year. So strawberry on the ground is fine. These are weeds that need to be pulled. 3 apple trees. 1, 2, 3 down there. There it is. Look great. And orchard wise here, nothing looks very good. I have one dead peach tree here that needs to come out. One peach tree or pear tree here that I think is putting out from the rootstock. I'm probably going to dig it up. And I started out with 2 peaches, 2 plums, 2 pears. Right now I can't tell you which is which, but I do have them identified on a piece of paper. Of course, azalea blooms are dying back, but azaleas will be beautiful here all winter. I have some more blueberries mixed up here in this area. And I believe these Mexican petunias die back completely. Seems like they dried back completely to the ground. But we'll see how that goes. Of course, my melon patch is all gone now. We enjoyed probably 15 smaller watermelons. Did not get to enjoy any cantaloupes. I either didn't pull them early enough or pulled them too late, and then they tasted awful, so there was no pleasure in that. And my blackberry here, I've got a cage around the bottom, but I'm going to do something different. I don't know what, but I want to get this in a good, happy place, find it a permanent home with a decent trellis, and go from there. Oh, the mums, they were purple, beautiful lavender here in the last couple of months, and now the freeze has gotten them too. Looks like the liatris here is no more. Of course, the cannas are no more. The fig bushes don't look wonderful, but they don't look killed off either. I've got some more mature figs at the back. I'm interested to see how they are doing. The echinacea and black-eyed Susans and all that had already died on their own. Strawberries. Okay, this garden over here is mostly flowers. Here's a very old-fashioned azalea, old-fashioned azaleas. Monkey grass, of course, is fine. Larapi, most people call it. These lilies seem to be fine. The winter camellia here, it is a very old tree, but it will bloom, or has in the past, bloom all winter. So looking forward to just sharing more beauty with us over the winter time. Now up front here, looks like all the Jerusalem artichokes, the butterfly bush, those have all died back completely. Ooh, there's even a bee, baby. You survived? Interesting. Well, I'm glad we have a little bit for you to feed on. Interesting. Very interesting. The hellebores that you see down here, they are also winter blooming, and they, I don't believe, have started blooming yet. Don't see any blooms. Have quite a few, so those will be giving us some pretty flowers at some point. More blue mist flower mixed in here. This is lantana. Looks better to have gone through a freeze than I thought it would. But the Rosa Sharon, or Althea, of course, is dying back. You see it yellowing as a hedge here. And I hope to propagate it some more. I want to fill in this hole right here between my yard and the highway. And that is a great summertime screen. Not so much a wintertime screen, but I'll be looking for something that is. Perhaps that needs to be camellias because they are gorgeous. Even the daisies, look at them. Still hanging in there. This is not the elephant ears. They gone. Jerusalem artichoke back there. They gone. But some daylilies. The greenery is hanging in there. Basil, she gone. Okay. The zinnias, they look like they're all gone. And we'll have to find us some pretty winter blooming items. Over here again, more daylilies, still up. Zinnias, she said no thank you to the freeze. So beautiful right up to the last point. Okay, daylilies, cannas on this side, you can see. They are gone to glory. Let's head to the back. Okay, the kitchen garden was on the east side of the house. You just saw the whole south side. This is the west side. This is what I was talking about. I thought I had harvested all of the reds. Obviously, I had not. There's a few hidden in here. And I intentionally left the greens. I'll just be honest, I ran out of energy. Looks like the Malabar spinach that was intergrowing here is completely gone. And we'll give it a while to see. Did 12 hours below freezing do in these beautiful large green tomatoes? Or if so, we can still make a green salsa. The reds that you see on the ground, we were gone to out of town for a week, and those were too mushy or had bugs on them or something. I chose not to put them in my basket yesterday. I see I also missed some pretty large peppers. The greenery looks awful, so we'll see how the peppers come out of this or not. And again, you see all the dead Malabar spinach, but it well exposes the green tomatoes that I left, and we'll see if they will ripen or if they dead. Okay? Same story, different dead. So basically all these beds are the same. I had two varieties of tomatoes that I wanted to try. I miss the red ones up there this year, and the rest, see, these are ones that I left on the ground. What a waste. I'm ashamed I left them because they were too far gone even yesterday because of neglect and being out of town. Laziness. Here's some little petite peppers I intentionally left because they weren't the beautiful orange colors yet. So I'm wanting to learn from some of this. And here, of course, was where the loofah started, way over there, but it grew over the whole top of this bed. So there are likewise tomato plants too, and peppers all along the bottom here that never really got as big, but they were producing well. And like here's a loofah that had already started yellowing. This one was obviously still green. So we're just hoping this will be our first year harvesting loofah and trying to see what we can get out of the sponges. And that's about it up here. Okay, evidently this is what a roselle looks like with one hard freeze. So I was at a stage where I had tons of buds, but not many blooms. Here's a bloom I had and didn't really know it. So I don't know if freezing damages it, but I will try to harvest all the calyxes that are still on these bushes, because like I said, I was hoping to get to the blooming stage. You can see here's one that was gonna bloom. Here's one that was gonna bloom. And then I thought you harvested the calyxes after they bloomed. But my first year learning experience, I'll let you know what I find out. I also have some okra that I had left over here to dry so that I could harvest the seeds out of it. So we'll see. My okra did not do well this year because I planted it by the roselle, not realizing how huge the roselle would get. So hopefully some of these that were already brown, you can hear that, have some mature seeds in there for me so I can plant those next year. My little wall at the bottom back here after one freeze, it's pitiful. So just note for next year, when they are guaranteeing our first freeze, these are the things I might want to change my mind and do something different about. Got some beautiful flowers. What is this, rose campion maybe? This I believe is oregano. Yep, Italian oregano, basils. So these are not pretty now, but it sure was beautiful hanging down on this wall for earlier in the season. Okay, how did the big elephant ears do? Woo! First freeze took them down. Looks like now I'll be able to access this row we were hoping to access for planting more winter stuff. We will do that. Likewise over here on this side at the pool, these have elephant ears have died. Malabar spinach going up the fence is dead after our first freeze. Some tomatoes hanging in there, but those are super sweet 100s. And the castor plant that someone gave me, looks like it, of course, tropical, did not like the freeze, which we're fine with that, but learning, see all those things that had flowered, and now I suppose there's seeds in there, but I got to read more about this. I understand it's poisonous, but it was a beautiful plant. Again, somebody just gave it to me, and I appreciate that, but don't know if I'll do that again or not. All right, so elephant ear garden looking pitiful as expected. Back here, and you see it's only about 12:30 noonish, a little afternoon here, and this is all now in the shade. The sun is low enough on the horizon. I was telling my family this week, I said, please remind me next year that instead of planting tomatoes along this fence, especially in the fall, see how many greens I had left, I should have planted them along the pond fence back here that is perfectly in the sun. I feel like I would have had many more red tomatoes than all these greens. I'm not complaining. I harvested plenty of red tomatoes yesterday from this area. We should have been spanked for all the ones we let ruined. Again, we were gone for a week, but probably didn't harvest just before or just after we got back. So all these were too squishy or seedy or whatever. Something's been digging here. That means I'd like to slap somebody. But nonetheless, this is where we are. Okay. Ooh, now my Easter rose on this side that gets, I guess, the protection of the house, but this is the north side. It's still blooming. Look at that. This thing bloomed at Easter and has been blooming ever since. Now the Indian ginger that someone had given me over here, no, one freeze did it in. Okay. Look at the blue heron. Do you see him flying? I don't know if you can see him or not. I didn't mean to scare him. Maybe he'll settle back down while I'm back here. But along the pond fence, he comes every year, by the way. Along the pond fence here, a bunch of dead stuff, but these are forsythia, like yellow bells. They root really easily, and I used to have them all along this fence. Excuse the messy goat barn back here. We don't have our own goats right now. Notice I tossed some of the smushy red tomatoes from yesterday down here just to see if they wouldn't volunteer on their own next year. Gotta love a volunteer. And God bless the people that finally cleaned up for me after Hurricane Helene. I think I told you about that in the October video, but in case I didn't, we had 3 huge trees. That is just like a fourth of a stump that they didn't get. But everything else they got up for me, and it's all along the back fence back there, if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it or not. None of the wood left the property, but that's so nice to get it all cleaned back, because if you look at my earlier videos from this year, this was impassable for us. Like, we could not even walk around back here. So now we're about 3/4 of the way in, and we did have beautiful yellow jasmine all across here, but they had to actually take out all this fence. Most of it was damaged anyway, but they had to take it out in order to access the trees, because this was in an awful mess. Okay. Fig. Ooh, fig leaves do not like freeze, I see out here. We still have some figs on the bushes. I'll have to assess that situation, because I don't remember that happening before. I probably just didn't pay attention. You might wonder why I have so many tarps on the ground. It's because I hate grass. And this area is all mulched, but my grass was creeping in. This is a peach tree. And because grass, here you go, you can see right here where the wind's blown it up. Grass started creeping into my mulch, and I wanted to kill it. So it'll be easier for us to get all this grass out of here once it's dead. So that's why the tarps are laid down. There's no tarp in the middle because that's my grandchildren's soccer field. And they love soccer. All right, so we said figs, peach, another blueberry, and here's another one changing colors. How about that? Another variety. Elderberry, little tiny one, just planted me this year here. Ooh, I believe that is one that is surviving. It's just not in its cage. And I don't think this one, ouch, that's a briar of some sort. So I believe the third one died back in the summer. But I do have 2 future elderberries. And here is our smaller of the 2 mulberry trees. The large mulberry tree is over there in my daughter's yard, but it's so huge you can see it over the top of my house. And I would like to have it trimmed back so that I can get more sun on the east garden over there that I call the kitchen garden. Okay, I think that's about it. Just want to say God is good. This snake plant in the pot I had in one of my gardens, and I set it up here yesterday intending to take it inside and forgot. So it's been outside during the freeze and was fine. My rainwater collector here. Ooh, just like the other one. Look at that. That's how thick the ice is. I am so shocked. Well, I feel fine out here right now. Okay. And what other? Had a few plants in pots up here. This aloe looks fine. I have quite a few. I would call them a Christmas cactus, except I've had several already budding and get ready to bloom. So I think, you know, you have Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So some of mine must be this little pot. Oh yeah, that's solid with us. Oh, that's a thick one. How about that? I had put some pineapple sage up here to see if it would root, but whew, this aloe looks fine. This is blooming much more. So again, I think these are Thanksgiving cacti. I'll have to put little labels on them. And over here's where the tomatoes, the redded tomatoes. Now you see a lot of green ones on top of this one. My mother's picked through and got what she wanted. Here's a whole basket of the little cherries. And this is mostly peppers on top, but I think there are some tomatoes in the bottom. I don't see them. Oh, well, here's one. And then more peppers. But again, I did share with my mother, so this is what's left just from harvesting yesterday. And this is a big basket, like laundry basket size. God is good. Okay, I'm going to sit down here for a moment and to sign off and say thank y'all so much for joining me today. I'm even more in love with God when I walk around a November South Carolina garden and see all that we still have. It's what a blessing and plentiful. I would encourage each of you to grow something of your own. Just start with 1 or 2 things, but get yourself in the habit. So when you get old like me, you'll have a hobby that you like and something that gives you some physical activity and some good food that doesn't have pesticides or hasn't been treated with anything that we think may be harmful for us. So we're trying to get away from all that. All right, here's sweet Cappy. Hey Cappy. So Midlife No Crisis is our channel name. Check us out, and thank you so much for joining us. We love you. Many blessings all your way until we see each other or talk to each other again. Amen.